Granger, what did you learn about God through this? And what did that really coming to know him look like?
Well, over those first 6, 7, 8 months after Ground Zero, after we lost River, and I was trying everything I could to help things feel better, to be the rock of the family, to be the person that the family could rely on. And, if they're upset, I wanted to be the guy that's not upset so they could lean on me and I could pat them on the shoulder and say, we're going to be okay. That was slowly crushing me. That was slowly eating me away because I wasn't the guy. It was a facade. And I really just wanted to climb into a hole and disappear forever. I wanted to go into a dark place in Mexico and no one ever heard of Granger Smith ever again. There's a lot of times that felt like the best scenario. And so I realized at some point that I was drawn to listening to sermons on YouTube. And it started with Billy Graham. Somehow the algorithm on my YouTube channel, because I was listening to a lot of self-help, sometimes it would cross over into Christianity. And once again, I want to say that I considered myself a full-blown Christian.
Yeah.
But my algorithm picked up Billy Graham, and I started listening to him over
Just totally,
and over.
Totally random. You started listening to him?
Totally random. Nobody recommended it. I somehow through self-help, the Billy Graham classic archives, which were being uploaded to YouTube, started coming up on my algorithm. And I was like, oh, cool. Sometimes it was black and white and he was young with dark hair. Sometimes it was color and he was old with white hair. But I started hearing the pattern in what he was saying, and I was drawn to it. And I was drawn to listening to this message. And I didn't really know exactly why I was drawn to it. But then that algorithm started kicking up other pastors and other sermons. And one day I was listening to a pastor talking through John 14, and he was reading through it and kind of commentating as he was reading. And the disciple asked Jesus, Lord, why is it that you manifest yourself to us, but not to the rest of the world? And Jesus answered him, if anyone loves me, he will keep my word, and my Father will love him, and we will come to him and make our home with him. And all at once, and the pastor kind of commentated, and he said, that's not unconditional love. That is profoundly conditional. And suddenly it just hit me. I just thought, oh man, I am loved. I'm still here. I am loved. I am being poured into. I'm an adopted son. I am ransomed. I am redeemed. I am healed. I'm restored. I am loved. And what am I doing with that love? Nothing. Jesus says, all you got to do is keep my word. And instantly I thought, I don't know his word. I don't know his word. I've been reading these supplemental devotionals, but what is his word? Like, have I ever gotten the Bible and just gone straight into the word? So I went home and I told my wife, I said, hey, we're not going to do these devotionals right now. We're going to sideline them for a little bit. We're going to go to Matthew 1 and start right there in the New Testament and just start reading down, you and I together. And she was like, okay, thank God that she was on the same path as me. So I just started reading down. I didn't want to skip any of the word. If I was going to keep the word, I didn't want to miss any of the word. So I started going. I went all the way to Revelation. And then I was like, well, Jesus said the prophets were talking about him, so I better go back to Genesis and read the Old Testament too. So I read the Old Testament, and then I was just hooked on this. I felt life in this. I felt like I was learning who God is. And by learning who God is, that's when I learned that he is sovereign, that he is holy, that he is glory, that he is love, that he is providential, that he has the whole, as the children's song says, he's got the whole world in his hands. If he's got the whole world in his hands, then surely he's acquainted with my grief. He understands what I'm going through, and he saw all of this. He saw all of this happen, and he knows it's for a greater good. If I can trust that God with my grief that's so small in relation to the rest of the world, if I could trust my God with that, what do I have to worry about? right? Now that's a lot to unpack, and that takes a long time to learn that kind of trust. But at that point was the key word for my whole life after that was surrender.
Yeah.
Stop trying to swim against the stream. If we have a great God, a all-powerful, all-knowing, Alpha and the Omega, holy God, if we have him at the helm of our ship, stop trying to paddle.
Yeah.
Surrender to that. And when I did that, there was the peace.
Yeah.
There was the rest. It was all there for me.